We'd just like to announce a disclaimer. We forgot at the start of this film. We don't actually own My Immortal.
No. No.
Many people have said this in time.
We do not own My
No.
Immortal. We have nothing to do with it. We just thought we'd take the piss out of it.
Yeah. I'm assuming anyone who's bothered to read this by the title, you know what My Immortal is. It's one of the world's most
I'm just adjusting my hair. Sorry.
worst fan fictions. I mean, there are a lot worse fan fictions for varying reasons, but the grammar in this
Which
is
we
atrocious.
will do later. We will.
Please don't make me squeak.
Yeah, it will.
Oh God, no! No. Okay, so on with the next chapter. Whose turn was it?
It was 9. Chapter 7. Brings me to life. Author's note. Well, okay, you guys, I'm only writing this because I got 5 God reviews. And by the way, I won't write a next chapter till I get 10 God Vons. Oh God. Stop flaming, or I'll report you. Ebony isn't a Mary Sue, okay? She isn't perfect. She's a Satanist. She has problems. She's depressed, for God's sake. Draco and I held our pale white hands with black nail polish as we went upstairs. I was wearing red Satanist sings on my nails and red nail polish. ANC, does that sound like a Mary Sue to you? I waved to Vampire. Dark misery was in his depressed eyes. I guess he was jealous of me that I was going out with Draco. Anyway, I went upstairs excitedly with Draco. We went into his room and locked the door. And then... ... We started Frenching passively. We took off each other's clothes enthusiastically. He felt me up before he took off my top. And then he took off my black leather bra and he took off his pants. We went on the bed and we started making out naked, and then he put his boy's thingy into mine and we had sex. See, is that stupid? Oh, Draco! I screamed whilst getting an orgasm. When all of a sudden I saw a tattoo I had never seen before on Draco's arm. It was a black heart with an arrow through it. On it, bloody Gothic writing said, Vampire. I was so angry. You bastard! I shouted angrily, jumping out of the bed. No, but you don't understand, Draco pleaded, but I knew too much. No, you fucking idiot! I shouted. You probably have AIDS anyway! I put on my clothes all huffily, and then I stomped out. Draco ran out even though he was naked. He had a really big you-know-what, but I was too mad to care. I stomped out and did so until I was in Vampire's classroom, where he was having a lesson with Professor Snape and some other people. Vampire pussy, you motherfucker! I yelled. Just keep them on. It's easier.
Yeah, but then I look preppy.
Oh, dude.
I'm already wearing a preppy t-shirt. I can't wear more than one piece of preppiness. I'm assuming my hair is a bit preppy as well, you know, so... Yours is good. I just wish mine was naturally darker. AN. Stop flassing, okay? If you do, deprep.
Okay.
Sorry. Everyone in the class stared at me, and then Draco came into the room, even though he was naked, and started begging me to take him back. Ebony! It's not what you think, Draco screamed sadly. My friend Bloody Mary Smith smiled at me understatedly. She flipped her long waist-length gothic black hair and opened her crimson eyes like blood on she was wearing contact lenses on. She had pale white skin that she was wearing white makeup on. Hermione was kidnapped when she was born. Her real parents were vampires and one of them is a witch, but Voldemort killed her mother and her father committed suicide because he was depressed about it. She still has nightmares about it and she is very haunted and depressed. It also turns out her real last name is Smith and not Granger, since she was converted to Satanism. She is in Slytherin now, not Gryffindor. What is it that you desire, you ridiculous dimwit? Snape demeaned angrily in his cold voice, but I ignored him. Vampire! I can't believe you cheated on me with Draco! I shouted at him. Everyone gasped. I don't know why Ebony was so mad at me. I went out with Vampire. I'm bi and so is Ebony. For a while, but then he broke my heart. He dumped me because he liked Brittany, a stupid preppy fucker. We were just good friends now. He had gone through horrible problems, and now he was gothic. Like I would hang out with a prep. But I'm not going out with Draco anymore, said Vampire. Yeah, fucking right! Fuck off, you bastard! I screamed. I ran out of the room and into the Forbidden Forest where I had lost my virility to Draco, and then I started to bust into tears.
Oh no.
Chapter 9.
8N. Stop flaming, okay? I didn't read all the books. This is from the movie, okay? So it's not my fault if Dumbledore swears. Besides, I said he had a headache. And the reason Snap doesn't like Harry now is because he's Christian and Vampire is a Satanist. MCR rocks. I was so mad and sad. I couldn't believe Draco for cheating on me. I began to cry against the tree where I did it with Draco. Then all of a sudden, a horrible man with red eyes and no nose came flying towards me on a broomstick. He didn't have a nose, basically like Voldemort in the movie. And he was wearing all black, but it wasn't obvious that he was gothic. It was Voldemort. No! I shouted in a scared voice, but then Voldemort shouted, Imperious, and I couldn't run away. Crookshanks! I shouted at him. Voldemort fell off his broom and started to scream. I felt bad for him, even though I was a sadist, so I stopped. Ebony, he yelled, thou must kill Vampire Potter. I thought about Vampire with his sexer eyes and his gothic black hair, and how his face just looks like Joel Maddle. I remembered that Draco had said that I didn't understand, so I thought, what if Draco went out with Vampire before I went out with him and he broke up? No, Voldemort! I shouted back. Voldemort gave me a gun. No, please! I begged. Thou must kill, he yelled. If thou does not, then I shall kill your beloved Draco. How did you know? I asked in a surprised manner. Voldemort got a dude you're so retarded look on his face. I hath telekinesis, he answered cruelly. And if you doth not kill Vampire, then thou knowest what will happen to Draco, he shouted. Then he flew away angrily on his broomstick. I was so scared and mad, and I didn't know what to do. Suddenly Draco came into the woods. Draco, I said. Hi. Hi, he said, but his face was all sad. He was wearing white foundation and messy eyeliner even, kind of like a pentagram, get it, between Joel Madden and Gerard Way. Are you okay? I asked. No, he answered. I'm sorry I got all mad at you, but I thought you cheated on me. I expelled. That's okay, he said, all depressed, and we went back into Hogwarts together, macking out.
Did someone have a Big Mac?
I will note that that is the chapter that always makes me burst into laughter, simply because of dude, you're so
I
retarded.
think you did exceptionally well, because I couldn't
first of all,
stop, because I knew what was coming.
First of all, Voldemort just descends into lunacy in this story, and second of all, I just love the idea of a dude, you're so retarded look on his face, like
What is that?
like he goes like this. He goes, I have telekinesis. Anyway,
I also want to know why Voldemort's become Shakespeare, but we...
and why he gives Rick Gun. Like, why does he do that? But anyway.
However, we are going back on our word of not discussing the anti-canonists and
Yeah.
stuff.
Anyway.
But anyway, it was worth mentioning. I thought you did very well. Very well. Are you going to open that and eat it?
Maybe. No.
Okay. You look very stylish with a lollipop, you know. Okay. Chapter 10. Ayo. Stop it, gay fags. If you do not lick my story, then fuck off. P.S. It turns out Bloody Mary isn't a muggle, a furt, owl, and she and Vampire are evil dats, and why they moved houses. Okay. Okay, Ebony. I was really scared about Voldemort all day. I was even upset when went to rehearsals with my gothic metal band Bloody Gothic Rose 666. I am the lead singer of it, and I play guitar. People say that we sound like a cross between GC, Slipknot, and MCR. The other people in the band are Bloody Mary, Vampire, Draco, Ron, although we call him Diabolo now. He has black hair now with blue streaks in it. And Hagrid. Only today, Draco and Vampire were depressed, so they weren't coming, and we wrote songs instead. I knew Draco was probably slitting his wrists. He wouldn't die because he was a vampire too, and the only way you can kill a vampire is with a Kyros. There's no way I'm writing that. Or a steak. And Vampire was probably watching a depressing movie like The Corpse Bride. I put on a black leather skirt that showed off my boobs and tiny matching miniskirt that said Simple Plan on the butt. You might think I'm a slut, but I'm really not. We were singing a cover of Helena, and at the end of the song I suddenly burst into tears. Ebony, are you okay? Bloody Mary asked in a concerted voice. What the fuck do you think? I asked angrily, and then I said, well, Voldemort came and the fucking bastard told me to kill fucking Harry, but I don't want to kill him because he's really nice, even if he did go out with Draco. But I don't kill Harry, then Voldemort will fucking kill Draco. I burst into tears. Suddenly Draco jumped out from behind a wall. Why didn't you fucking tell me? He shouted. How could you fucking poser muggle bitch? See? Is that out of character?
No.
I started to cry and cry. Draco started to cry too, all sensitive. Then he ran out crying. We practiced for 1 more hour. Then suddenly Dumbledore walked in angrily. His eyes were all fiery, and I knew this time it wasn't because he had a headache. What have you done? He started to cry wildly. See, that's basically not swearing, and this time he was really upset, and you will see why. Ebony Draco has been found in his room. He committed suicide by slitting his wrists. Chapter 11. No buttons to be pressed.
Chapter 11.
Chapter time over.
A.M. I said stop flamming, you preps. See if this chapter is stupid. It deals with real serious issues. SPC for yourself, if it is stupid. BRW, thanks to my friend Raven for helping me. No! I screamed. I was horrified. Bloody Mary tried to comfort me, but I told her to fuck off and I ran to my room, crying myself. Dumbledore chased me, shouting, but he had to stop when I went into my room because he'd look like a perv that way. Anyway, I started crying tears of blood and then I slit both of my wrists. They got all over my clothes, so I took them off and jumped in the bath angrily, whilst I put on a Linkin Park song at full volume. I grabbed a stake! A stake, and almost stuck it into my heart to commit suicide. I was so fucking depressed. I got out of the bathtub and put on a black low-cut dress with lace all over it, sandally. I put on black high heels with pink metal stuff on the ends and 6 pairs of skull earrings. I couldn't fucking believe it. Then I looked out of the window and screamed. Snap was spying on me, and he was taking a videotape of me, and Lupin was masticating to it. They were sitting on their broomsticks. Ew, you fucking pervs! Stop looking at me naked! Are you pedos or what? I screamed, putting on a black towel with a picture of Marilyn Manson on it. Suddenly Vampire ran in. Abracadabra! He yelled at Snap and Lupin, pointing his womb. I took my gun and shot Snape and Lupin a gazillion times, and they both started screaming and ran in. Suddenly, Dumbledore ran in. Ebony! It has been revealed that someone has... No! He shouted, looking at Snape and Lupin, and then he waved his wand ludicrously. Hagrid ran outside on his broom and said, Everyone, we need to talk. What do you want to know, Hagrid? You're just a little Hogwarts student. I may be a Hogwarts student, Hagrid paused angrily, but I am also a Satanist. This cannot be, Snap said in a crisp voice as blood dripped from his hand where Dumbledore's wand had shot him. What does this mean? There must be other factors. You don't have any! I yelled madly. Lupin held up the camera triumphantly. The lens may be ruined, but the tape's still in there. I felt faint, more than I normally do, when I felt faint, more than I normally do, like how it feels when you do not drink enough blood. Why are you doing this? Lupin said angrily, and he rubbed his dirty hands on his cloak. Then I heard the words that I had heard before, but I had not heard them from him. I did not know whether to feel shocked or happy, or to bite him and drink his blood, because I felt faint. Because! Hagrid said, and he paused in the air dramatically, waving his wand. Then swooped he in, singing a tune of a Gothic version of a song by 50 Cent. Because you're Gothic? Snap asked in a little afraid voice, because he was afraid it meant he was connected with Satan. Because I love her! Chapter 12.
Whoa, chapter 12.
Chapter 12, laddie.
Swooped he in on a broom.
Swooped he in on a broomstick.
Chapter 12. A.N. Stop for A-ing. Okay, Hagrid is a pedo. To a lot of people in American schools are like that. I wanted to address that issue. How do you know Snap ain't Christian, plus Hagrid isn't really in love with Ebony? That was Cedric. Okay. I was about to slit my wrists again with the silver knife that Drago had given me in case anything happened to him. He had told me to use it valiantly against an enemy, but I knew that we must go together. No! I thought it was Hagrid, but it was Vampire! He started to scream. God, that's complicated. OMFG. No! My scar hurts! And then... ... His eyes rolled up. You could only see his red whites. I stopped. How did you know? I saw it, and my scar turned back into the lightning bolt. No! I ran up closer. I thought you didn't have a scar anymore! I shouted. I do, but Diabolo changed it into a pentagram for me, and I always cover it up with foundation, he said back. Anyway, my scar hurt, and it turned back into the lightning bolt. Save me! Then I had a vision of what was happening to Drago. Voldemort had him in bondage!
Oh, God.
Anyway, I was in the school nurse's office, now recovering from my slit wrists. Snap and Lupin and Hagrid were there too. They were going to St. Mango's after they recovered because they were paedophiles, and you can't have those fucking pervs teaching in a school with lots of hot girls. Dumbledore had constipated the studio camera and they took of me naked. I put up my middle finger at them. Anyway, Hagrid came into my hospital bed holding a bouquet of pink roses. Ernaby, I need to tell you something, he said in a serious voice, giving me the roses. Fuck off, I told him. You know I don't fucking hate the colour pink anyway, and I don't like fucked up preps like you, I snapped. Hagrid had been mean to me before being Gothic. No, Ernaby, Hagrid says. Excuse me. Those are not roses. What? Are they Jeffs, you two, you poster prep? Are they goths, you two, you poster prep? I can't speak.
Are they Jeffs?
What? Are they goths too, you poser prep? I asked, because I was angry that he had bought me pink roses. I saved your life, he yelled angrily. No, you didn't, I replied. You saved me from getting a Paris Hilton P video made from your shower scene and being viewed by Snap and Lupin. Who masturbated? See, is that spelled wrong? To it he added silently. Whatever, I yelled angrily. He pointed his wand at the pink roses. Those aren't roses. He suddenly looked at them with an evil look in his eye and muttered, well, if you wanted honesty, that's all you had to say. That's not a spell, that's an MCR song, I corrected him wisely. I know, I was just warming up with my vocal cords. Then he screamed, Petulius Marengo me chronically Ramatio. For all you cool Gothic MCR fans out there, that is a tribute, especially for you, Raven. I love you, girl. Imo noto okeo. And then the roses turned into huge black flame floating in the middle of the air. And it was black. Now I knew I wasn't a prep. Okay, I believe you now. WTF is Draco. Hagrid rolled his eyes. I looked into the balls of flame, but I could see nothing. You see, Elric, Dumbledore said, watching the two of us watching the flame. To see what is in the flames. Haha, you reviewers, flames, get it? You must find yourself first. Okay? I have found myself, okay, you mean man, Hagrid yelled. Dumbledore looked shocked. I guess he didn't have a headache or else he would have said something back. Hagrid stormed off back to his bed. You are a liar, Professor Dumbledore! Anyway, when I got better, I went upstairs and put on a black leather mini dress that was all ripped at the ends with lace on it. There was some corset stuff on the front. Then I put on my black fishnets and black high-heel boots with pictures of Billy Joe Armstrong on them. I put my hair all around me so I looked like Samara from The Ring. If you don't know who she is, or a prep, so fuck off. And I put on blood red lipstick, black eyeliner and black lip gloss. You look kawaii, girl, Bloody Mary said, sadly. Fangs! Get it? You too, I said sadly, too, but I was still upset. I slit both of my wrists feeling totally depressed and sucked all the blood. I cried again in my bathroom and put the shades on so Snap and Lupin couldn't spy on me this time. I went to some classes. Vampire was in the hair of magical magic creatures. He looked all depressed because Draco had disappeared, and he had used to be in love with Draco. He was sucking some blood from a Hufflepuff. Hi, he said in a depressed way. Hi, back! I said in a equally said way. We both looked at each other for some time. Harry had beautiful red gothic eyes, so much like Draco's. Then we jumped on each other and started screwing each other. Stop it now, you horny simpletons! Shouted Professor McGoggle, who was watching us and so on everyone else. Are you okay? Vampire, you fucker! I said, slapping him. Stop trying to screw me! You know I love Draco! I shouted, and then I ran away angrily. Just then, he started to scream. OMFG, no! My scar hurts! And then his eyes rolled up. You could only see his red whites. No! I ran up closer. I thought you didn't have a scar anymore! I think I've been here before. I shouted! I do, but Diabolo changed it into a pentagram for me, and I always cover it up with foundation, he said back. Anyway, my scar hurt, and then I had a vision of what was happening to Draco. Voldemort has him bondage! Special thanks to Raven, my gothics. Blood sister, WTF, supposed to writ this. Hey, Raven, do you know where my sweater...
Do you know where her sweater is?
Actually, it's funny because we looked on some of Raven's stuff and her sweater is actually mentioned in it.
Yeah,
Isn't it?
in Raven's own fanfics, she actually says, I hate you, Tara. You are never getting back your sweater. So she probably never got that sweater back, or maybe she did when they made up. But anyway, it's not any way related to the story, so we're moving on.
Isn't that what not used to happen stereotypically with like American boyfriends, girlfriends? The girlfriend would nick his sweater or something.
That may be a stereotype. What do you think, Americans?
Does that mean they were in love? Oh, sorry, no, they're not lesbos, are they, in her words?
I don't know. Just ask the Americans. They may be watching. God, help us.
And it's a jumper mainly here.
Okay. By the way, the reason I keep looking behind me is we have an ugly cat, and he was around my feet. Anyway. Chapter 13. A.N. Raven, thanks for gelping me again. I'm sorry I took your poster of Jared, but that guy is such a fucking sex bomb. Perhaps stop flamming. Vampire and I ran up the stairs looking for Dumbledore. We were so scared. Dumbledore! Dumbledore! We both yelled. Dumbledore came there. What is it that you want now, you despicable snobs? He asked angrily. Voldemort has Draco! We shouted at the same time. He laughed in an evil voice. No! Don't! We need to save Draco, we begged. No, he said meanly. I don't give a darn what Voldemort does to Draco. Not after how much he misbehaved in school. Especially with you, Ebony. He said, and he frowned whilst looking at me. Besides, I never liked him much anyway. Then he walked away. The vampire started crying. My Draco, he moaned. A.N., don't you think gay guys are like so hot? It's okay, I tried to tell him, but he didn't stop. He started to cry tears of blood. Then he had a brainstorm. I had an idea, he exclaimed. What? I asked him. You'll see, and he said, and suddenly took out his wand and did a spell. Then, ... Suddenly we were in Voldemort's lair. We ran in with our wands out, and just as we ran in, we heard a croon voice say, Allah Kedavra. It was ... Voldemort. Chapter 14. And that was Allah, as in Allah.
No racism intended. We did not write it. Oh, my goodness.
Wow, this one comes with a warning, this chapter.
I don't think there's any point, but I'll do it. Warning. Some of this chapter is extremely scray. Be our excretion advice.
Get ready to crap yourself, you're in for a bumpy ride.
The funny thing is that I don't even think she planned on putting excretion, but it works so well.
I don't think she did at all.
Okay. We ran to where Voldemort was. It turned out that Voldemort wasn't there. Instead, the fat guy who killed Cedric was. Draco was there crying tears of blood. Hello, Mr. M. Snaketail was torturing him. Vampire and I ran in front of Snaketail. Rid my sight, you despicable preps, he shouted as we started shooting him with the gun. Then he looked at me and he fell down with a lovey-dovey look in his eyes. He said, in Dissy is 16 years old, so he's not a paedophile, okay?
Oh God, go away.
Mr. M loves to be in the middle of everything.
Sorry, I thought it'd be
Oh,
good.
he can't jump down that
I know.
far.
I
Oh.
thought it'd be good to show his ugly face to the camera because he's hideous. But he's
okay. He's
gone now.
He's fine.
I was ill-advised. I'm sorry.
But it had to be seen. Lovey-dovey look in his eyes. He said, "In this, he is 16 years old, so he's not a paedophile, okay?" Huh? I asked. Enderby, I love you. Will you have sex with me? Asked Snaketail. I started laughing crudely. What the fuck? You're torturing my BF? Then you expect me to fuck you? God, you're so fucked up, you fucking bastard! I said angrily. Then I stabbed him in the heart. Blood poured out of him like a fountain.
Hey.
No! He screamed. He started screaming and running around. Then he fell down and died. I burst into tears, sadly. Snaketail, where art thou doing? What art thou doing? Called Voldemort. Then he started coming.
Good Lord.
We could hear his high heels clacking to us. Forgive
Excuse
this.
me. Oh dear. God.
I will continue the reading in a minute. It's only fair, because, you know, I'd like you to see her responses too. The cat is staring at me. So anyway, yes, my immortal. Why am I talking like that? That's my Denethor voice. Hello, I'm Denethor of Gondor. No, my immortal, it cracks us up completely. We recently found another one called Twyla, which on the internet the general consensus is it was written by the same girl, Tara Gilesbie, who wrote My Immortal, and it's even worse. And also, if you want her worst examples of grammar and spelling, you want to try the same username she uses on fanfiction. Go do that on DeviantArt, and you'll find something called Mordred's Nightmare, I think it is, and it's 8 chapters of her Talia wrecking. I'm not even a fan of the show, but you know it's the anime, whatever it is. But she has murdered the English language even further. I think we're coming back.
Sorry, but at the moment I find myself a bit of a wanted woman. As you can kind of guess, for somebody who looks like this and wears a badge that says death. Don't comment.
What was I haven't finished it.
Oh.
I was waiting for you. Well, I thought it'd be interesting to see your face. I keep going into this voice now. Oof. Sorry, I've just changed the page. 1 moment.
This is what I have to work with.
I did warn you. Do you like sort of picking your nose with those things?
I'm not picking my nose with those. I'm sure it would be rather painful.
You pull your brains out. Oh, here we go. We could hear his high heels clacking to us. We got on our broomsticks, and we flew to Hogwarts. We went to my room. Vampire went away, then I started crying. What's wrong, honey? Asked Draco, taking off his clothes so we could screw. He had a sex pack. Get it? 'Cause he's so sexy. And a really huge you-know-what. And everything. It's so unfair! I yielded. Why can't I just be ugly or plain like all the other girls and preps here, except for Bloody Mary, because she's not ugly or anything? Why would you want to be ugly? I don't like the preps anyway. They're such fucking sluts, answered Draco. Yeah, but everyone is in love with me, like Snape and Lupin. Took a video of me naked. Hagrid says he's in love with me. Vampire likes me, and now even Snaketail is in love with me. I just want to be with you, okay, Draco? Why couldn't Satan have made me less beautiful? I shouted angrily. And A.N. Don't worry, Enderby isn't a snob or anything, but a lot of people have told her she's pretty. I'm good at too many things. Why can't I just be normal? It's a fucking curse! I shouted, and then I ran away. Chapter 15.
Chapter 15. A.N. Stop flaming, okay? By the way, you suck from no on. You suck from no on. Every time someone flams, I'm gonna slip my wrists. Thanks to Raven for clapping.
I like the Welsh.
Ebony! Ebony! Shouted Draco. That was the wrong voice, sorry. Shouted Draco sadly.
I know that.
No! Please come back! But I was too mad. Whatever! Now you can go and have sex with Vampire! I shouted. I stormed into my room and closed my black door with a blood-red key. It had a picture of Marilyn Manson on it. He looked so sexy, in a way that reminded me of Draco and Vampire. I started to cry and weep. I took a razor and started to slit my wrists. I drank all the blood because I was depressed. Then I looked at my black GC watch and noticed that it was time to go to biology class. I put on a short, ripped gothic dress that said Anarchy on the front in blood-red letters. It was all ripped and spiky at the belt. Under that, I put on a ripped black fishnet with boots that said Joel all over them in red letters. I put my ebony black hair out. Anyway, I went downstairs, feeling all sad and depressed as usual. I did some advanced biology work. I was turning a bloody pentagram into a black guitar. And suddenly the guitar turned into Draco. Enderby, I love you, he shouted sadly. I don't care what those fucker preps and posers think. You are the most beautiful girl in the world. Before I met you, I used to want to commit suicide all the time. Now I just want to fucking be with you. I fucking love you. Then he started to sing the Chronicles of Life and Death. We now considered it our song because we fell in love right when Joel was singing it. Right in front of the entire class. His singing voice was so amazing and gothic, like a sexy cross between Jared, Joel, Chester Pierre, and Marilyn Manson. A.N. Don't you think those guys are also hot? If you do not know who they are, then get the fuck out of here. OMFG! I said when he was finished. Some fucking preps stared at us, but I just stuck up my middle finger at them. They were covered in black nail polish and they were now entwined with Draco's. I stared at them. "I love you," I said to Draco. And then we started to kiss, just like Hilary Duff. I fucking hate that bitch. And CMM in the Cinderella story. Then we went away holding hands. Lupin shouted at us, but he stopped because everyone was clapping now by how sexy we looked together. Then I saw a poster saying MCR would have a concert in Hogsmeade right then. We looked at each other all shocked, and then we went together.
So I was having a staring match with the cat. He was glaring at me.
Understandable it had been.
Hip hip.
There's no denying we're British.
I know.
Anyway.
Chapter 16. Ian, you know what? Sut up, okay. Prove to me nut preps. Raven, you suck, you fucking bitch. Give me back my fucking sweeteat. Supposed to writ this. Raven, WTF, you bitch. Supposed to do this. BTW, fangs to Brittany 5655 for teching moi Japanese. We ran happily to Hogsmeade. There we saw the stage where GC had played. We ran in happily. MCR were there playing Helena. I was so fucking happy. Gerard looked even sexier than he did in that pictures. Even Draco thought so. I could totally see him getting an erection, but it didn't matter because I knew that we were the only true ones for each other. I was wearing a black leather mini dress and black leather platinum boots with red ripped fishnets. Draco was wearing a black baggy MCR t-shirt and black baggy pants. Anyway, we stated moshing to Helena. We Frenched. We ran up to the front of the band to stage dive. Suddenly, Gerard pulled off his mask. So did the others. We gasped. It wasn't them at all. It was Voldemort and the Death Dealers.
Oh, God.
WTF, Draco? I'm not going to a concert with you. I shouted angrily. Not after what happened to me last time, even if it's MCR. And you know how much I lick them.
God.
What? Because, you know, he gad-getted uncomfortable lie because guys don't like to talk about you know what. Yeah, because we know you. I yielded in an angry voice. We won't do that again, Draco promised. This time we're going with an escort. OMFG, WTF, are you giving to the mainstream? I asked. So I guess you're a prep or a Christina or what now? No, he muttered loudly. Are you becoming a prep or what? I shooted angrily. Enemy, I'm not. Pools, come with me. He fell down to his knees and started singing Da World is Black by GC2E. I was flattened, because that's not even a single. He had memorised the lyrics just for me. Okay, I guess I will have to, I said, and then we Frenched for a while and I went to my room. Bloody Mary was standing there. Hadji mema shite, girl, she said.
Hadji mema shite.
Oh, thank you. I'm assuming that is an actual
It
Japanese
is an
word,
actual
okay?
Japanese word, yeah.
She said happily. She specs Japanese, so do I. That means how do you do in Japanese? BTW, Willow oh no, sorry. Listen to speech marks. Willow, that fucking poser, got expelled. She failed all her classes and she skipped maths. AN. Raven, you fucking suck, fuck you. It serves that fucking bitch right, I laughed angrily. Well, anyway, we were feeling all depressed. We watched some gothic movies like Das Nightmare Before Christmas. We got German. Maybe Willow will die too, I said. Kawaii. Bloody Mare shook her head energetically, lethargically. Oh yeah, I have a confession. After she got expelled, I murdered her, and then Lupin did it with her because she's a necrophiliac. Kawaii. No, Kawaii, I commented happily. We talked to each other in silence for the rest of the movie. Oh hey, BTW, I'm going to a concert with Draco tonight in Hogsmeade with MCR, I said. I need to wear like the hottest outfit ever. Bloody Mary nodded. Energetically.
I like that.
OMFG! Totally, let's go shopping. In Hot Topic, right? I asked, already getting out my superficial Hot Topic loyalty cardy. No, my head snaped up. What? My head spewing. I could not believe it. Bloody Mary, are you a prep? No, she laughed. I found some cool Gothic stores near Hogwarts, that's all. Who told you about them? I asked. Sure it would be Draco or Diabolo or Vampire. Don't even say that nam to me. Or me. Dumbledore, she said. Let me just call our bronze. OMFFG, Dumbledore? I asked quietly. Yeah, I saw the map for Hogsmeade on his desk, she told me. Come on, let's go. We were going to a few punk goth stores, specially for the concerts in Hogsmeade. The salesperson was OMG hotter than Gerard, except not because that's impossible. And he gave me a few dresses. We only have these for da real goths. Da real goths? Me and Bloody Mary asked. Yeah, you wouldn't believe how many posers there are in this town, man. Yesterday, Lupin and Snap tried to buy a gothic camera pouch. He shook his head. I didn't know they even had a camera. OMFG, no, they're going to spy on me again! I cried, running out of the changing room wearing a long black dress with lots of red tulle coming out and very low cut with a huge slit. Oh my Satan, you have to buy that outfit, the person said. Yeah, it looks totally hot, said Bloody Mary. You know what, I'm going to give it to you free, because you look really hot in that outfit. Hey, you going to be at the concert tonight, he asked. Yeah, I am actually. I looked back at him. Hey, BTW, my name's Ebony Darkness Dementia Tara! Wait, what's yours? Tom Ridd, he said, and ran a hand through his black-dyed hair. Maybe I'll see you there tonight. Yeah, I don't think so, because I'm going there with my BF Draco, you sick perv. I yelled angrily, but before he could beg me to go with him, Hagrid flew in on his black broom looking worried. OMFG, Ebony, you need to get back to the castle now. No! Chapter 17. I hope you like my Scottish accent.
A-N. I said, stop flaming the story. If you're a prep, then don't read it. You can tell whether you are a prep by my quiz on my homepage. If you are not, then you rock. If you are, then fuck off. P.S. Willow isn't really a prep. Raven, please do this, and I promise I will give you back your poster. Tom Riddle gave us some clothes and stuff for free. He also said that he would help us with our makeup if he wanted to, because he was really into fashion and stuff. He's bisexual. Hagrid kept shooting at us to come back to Hogwarts. What the fuck, Hagrid? I shouted back, angrily. Fuck off, you fucking bastard! Well, anyway, Willow came. Hagrid went away angrily. Hey bitch, you look so kawaii, she said. Yeah, but not as kawaii as you, I answered, sadly, because Willow was really pretty and everything. She was wearing a long black corsety thing with blood red lace on it and a black blood red miniskirt, leather fishnets, black pointy boots that showed off how pale she was. She had a really nice body with big bobs and everything. She was also thin enough to be anorexic, but not. So are you going to the concert with Draco? She asked. Yeah, I said happily. I'm going with Diabolo, she answered happily. Well, anyway, Draco and Diabolo came. They were both looking extremely hot and sexy, and you could tell that they thought we were too. Diabolo was wearing a black t-shirt that said 666 on it. He was wearing tons of makeup, just like Marlon Manson. Draco was wearing black leather pants and a gothic black GC t-shirt, black Vans that he got from the Warped Tower. Bloody Mart was going to that concert with Dracola. Dracola used to be called Naval, but it turns out that his family was kidnapped at birth and he was really a vampire. They died in a car crash. Naval converted to Satanism and he went goth. He was in Slytherin now. He was wearing a black warped t-shirt black jeans and shoes, and black hair with red streaks in it. We call him Dracula now. Well, anyway, we all went to Draco's black Mercy Benz, get it because we're gothic, that his dad Lucian gave him. We did pot, coke, and crack. Draco and I made out. We made fun of those stupid fucking preps, and soon we got there. I gasped. Gerard was the sexiest guy ever. He looked even sexier than he did in the pics. He had long, raven black hair with piercing blue eyes. He was really skinny and had an amazing ethnic voice. We moshed to Helena and some odder songs. Suddenly Gerard pulled off his mask, and so did the other members. I gasped. It wasn't Gerard at all. It was an ugly, preppy man with no nose and red eyes. Everyone ran away but me and Draco. Draco and I came. It was Voldemort and the Death Dealers.
Again?
You moronic, oh dear. You moronic idiots. He shouted angstily. Enemy, I told you to kill vampire. Thou hast failed. And now I shall kill thou Draco. No, please! I begged sadly, but he took out a knife. Suddenly, a gothic old man flew in on his bromstick. He had long black hair, and he was wearing a long black bread. He was wearing a black robe that said Avril Lavigne on the back. He shotted a spell, and Voldemort ran away. It was Dumbledore. We will return next segment when my iPad has sufficient battery for us to record it.
We hope it's been entertaining.
We hope it has been entertaining.
It's been entertaining for us.
Any reviews or comments are welcome.
Suggestions for readings?
Suggestions for readings.
But we do draw a line at certain atrocities of
She does.
fanfic.
I
You would want to read Squick on
I would read anything. I draw no line. I have no morals.
I still think I have morals. I just don't want my face attached to that sort of thing.
My face can be attached to bad things. Anyway, any comments are welcome, not flames, because that makes you a poser or a prep.
Or a chav in our dialect.
If you're British, it makes you a chav.
Or a scowl.
Anyway,
that's regional.
That's been it from whatever we're deciding to call ourselves.
I thought the dregs of humanity.
The dregs of humanity.
Or the dregs of the internet.
The dregs of humanity. Well, this has been it so far from TwoBritsRead.
Yeah.
Enjoy. Bye.
Bye.